All right, great. Okay, so we got that taken care of. All right, so good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the first part of our 7-part monthly Overcoming Barriers to Engaging Fathers video series watch party. That's a mouthful, and guided discussion. A quick introduction, just in case. My name is Patrick Childers, and I work as a program coordinator at the Healthy Families Florida Central Office. Thank you all for taking time out of your busy day to dedicate to thinking about how our program can improve our services for fathers. The hope is that the Overcoming Barriers to Engaging Fathers video series and watch party can be an engaging way for us to come together and utilize our program's biggest strength, which is our staff's experience and ingenuity to develop and share strategies to overcome, sorry, I'm trying to let people into, overcome these specific barriers presented in each video. My goal is for you all to leave today and every session better equipped to have conversations with your staff and program about how they can engage fathers, be able to critically look at the way your site engaged its dads, and to give the central office ideas about how we can further support your efforts to help engage fathers. As we start watching the video, please be thinking about areas of your program that are affected by the topic. The more involved and responsive you all are, the more valuable these viewing parties are going to be. Okay, so without further ado, I'm just going to get this video started, and I think I've got it all set up right. So if you can't hear anything, someone let me know ASAP.
Hi, my name is Jason Perry, and I'm going to be talking with you about the barriers to paternal involvement and how to overcome those barriers. The barrier that we're going to be addressing today is that of program ambivalence. In other trainings, we've talked about the barrier of staff ambivalence that looks at how a staff person's individual attitudes can impact and become a barrier to paternal involvement. Today, we're going to give draw the camera back a little bit and look at the program itself, the agency itself, and see what are some things that the agency can do to become the things that agencies do that become barriers, and how you can overcome those things. So the current perception of MIH programs is that they exist primarily to serve women. And because that perception exists, it is important to create a space where men feel comfortable in becoming into that space and getting involved in those programs. So what you are asking yourself is, how father friendly is your program? So one of the things that you can do to overcome that barrier is to leverage your newness. Now, whether you are a new staff person or you are a veteran staff person, it is important that you look at your program with the fresh eyes of a newcomer. Think like a consultant, a person that hasn't become so well adjusted to the organizational culture that they operate within it without even thinking about it. You can evaluate your program's approach to and your attitude about fathers from the perspective of what it desires to do, as opposed to what has already been or always been done. Using that fresh approach, or that those new eyes can give you some great insights into your program, and to help you assess properly your program's effectiveness. So again, assessing the program, you want to assess your program's progress to identify the areas of success and the areas that possibly need improvement. And so one of the things that you can do, what you're doing here, is preparing the environment by ensuring the physical space is male friendly, and the staff are trained and ready to welcome and to engage fathers. You should involve fathers in this process as they can provide some feedback and recommendations while still feeling engaged in the development of the program themselves. This is going to create some champions among your fathers to make them invested in the program and greater cheerleaders for what you're doing and more likely to help you. They will become more likely willing to help you engage other fathers in the process as well. So let's look at some questions that can help you assess your program in these two areas. Does the entire staff have an understanding of the role that men play in children's lives? This is part of what you're doing with this training and some other trainings that you may be involved in. The more your staff understands the importance of fathers, the more you invest in training and helping staff understand that, the more engaged that staff is going to be and the more effective your program is going to be. Is there a male on staff that fathers are able to connect with? Do they see anyone who looks like them that they can talk to? That is important. If there is no male on staff, is there a female staff trained to work specifically with men? Again, men are different than women. Men think a little bit differently than women, and fathers approach fathering different than mothers do. So it's important that those differences are respected, and someone is trained to help in that process. If there is if there's no male on staff, or if there's no women on staff that are trained to do that, perhaps there's a male volunteer or representative, maybe another father, who is the point man for fathering activities. Again, having a male on staff or someone to work with the men or a male volunteer is important in terms of engaging fathers. Is the physical environment welcoming to fathers? What is the color scheme? What do the colors look like? What are the magazines? What are the attitudes of the people who greet them when they come into the program? What are the posters on the wall? Are there resources available to speak to fathers? Or are the resources only directed at mothers or children? Do your promotional materials reflect fathers in the wording and in the images? Are there images of engaged fathers, or are there just images of mothers? Do the magazines or the promotional material that you use, does it encourage fathers or does it ignore them? I recognize that you may not have the capacity or the authority to bring about change in some of the areas that I've mentioned. That, however, doesn't prevent you from sharing your observations with the people who do have that capacity and that authority. Your input is critical to improving the organization's ability to reach fathers and to ensure improved outcomes for mothers, children, and indeed for families. We trust that these tips will enhance your ability to reach fathers, your capacity to engage fathers. And we thank you so much for your efforts.
All right, I'll unmute myself real quick. So now comes the part that I was more looking forward to. So there was a lot to think about and digest in that video. So now I'd like to start the discussion section of the watch party. And honestly, and it's really great, there are a few more people here than I anticipated, which is great. So I'm hoping to keep discussion as organized as we can. In order to do that and keep from interrupting each other, if you could please use the hand raise reaction so I can acknowledge you before you speak, or feel free to type in the chat box and I will keep an eye on that. And if things get a little wild, I may rethink my strategy for the next watch party. We'll play it by ear. Okay, so I'm going to pose a few questions to you all today based on specific topics mentioned in the video. But if you have a thought that you think is pertinent and that you would like to share that's related to the question, feel free to just let it rip. So I hope it's all showing the questions over here. So what are some of the ways your program does a great job showing dads that our services are for them? I'm sorry. Hey, Ileana, sorry. I'm still getting the hang of some of this. I saw you had your hand raised there.
Our program encourages us to make parents co-participants. So at the same time that we sign up a new mother, we encourage the FOB, the mother of the baby, to join the program. And we have several.
Encouraging them to be co-participants is a really important part to helping involve them in our services. Carly, I see your hand is raised.
I put it in the chat, but our FSU curriculum includes dad as well. It'll have information for dad with bonding with baby and different stuff like that.
Heck yeah, specialized curriculum is another great way. Let's take a look at the chat here. Ooh, a lot of great things in here. Susan says that they invite dads to parent groups, which is a great strategy. Jeannie and Pinellas, they have male workers to work with dads in our program. They have some really, really great people down there. D from Citrus, inviting them to participate if they are at the visit. Is making sure they can be there. So let's see, Sally from Highlands, we invite dads to the visits when and if possible. And Kathy from ACUB, we make it clear upon intake that dads are welcome and encouraged to participate. It's a really great idea to make sure as soon as we are there that dads know that we are for them right away, which is great. So many great responses in here. Thank you, guys. And I'm not sure who it's from, but it says bringing information to visits geared towards dads. Bringing out information specific to dads. Plenty of brochures from the Parenthood Initiative. And Dana says, we involve them in visits whenever they are present, engage them in enrollment if they are present, recommend and encourage them to be co-participants, offer father groups, provide material to moms from the fatherhood curriculum. I do see, and Pasco Hernando is doing a great job utilizing our Fathering in 15 curriculum. Debbie says we created the new dad bags. That's a great idea. When a family enrolls, it contains curricula related to fatherhood, a children's book about dads, and a fun little gift, razor, shower gel, etc. That is really great. D says encourage dads to join in activities. And Maggie from Hillsborough says do some tools with them, such as ASQ. I love that. Dads are so great at playing with their kids, and the ASQ is a great way to help them feel involved and play with their kids. Okay, so and let's see. Dana, we just put together black backpacks. That is such a great idea, you guys. For dads, filled with diaper bag materials and educational pamphlets, as well as providing little wooden projects from Home Depot and a Home Depot apron for the children. I love that. And Debbie, we also just created t-shirts with a dad saying on it and our logo on the sleeve. We gave them out for Father's Day. Love it. I all of a sudden, I can't remember, but every time I'm on Facebook, I see these wonderful graduation shirts. I think it might be Hillsborough that has like the Superman logo on it. And I always think those are just like the coolest shirts. Sally from Highlands, the idea of a dad group and getting dads in on ASQ as well as those dad backpacks, taking those. Oh, yeah, great. What great ideas. Admit everyone, okay. And I'm always trying to work on not filling silence. So that's something I will hopefully improve on as we go on with these meetings. Let's see what time we got. Okay, so those are some really great strengths that you all have shown. So we'll move on to the next question. But like I said, feel free to go back and forth if you want. Who are some of the people you look up to in your program as a leader in father engagement? Why and how can you utilize them utilize them to further your program's effort to engage dads? Okay, from Dana, they recently hired a new supervisor who is male and comes from a home visiting background, and that they can get new, fresh ideas from him. That's awesome. Jeannie, I'm really glad you have your hand raised. You might still be on mute because I would love to hear about some of the people in your program.
I'm sorry, I forgot I was on mute.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah. So I'm the supervisor of our father service program here in Pinellas. We have a group of guys that just work with the dads, and it's a great team. And we have Reggie, who's been with Healthy Families forever. So I think that everybody within the agency looks up to Reggie. I mean, I think outside of our agency throughout the state of Florida really look up to him because he's been working with dads forever. And he's he had said, hey, 20 years ago, why are we not asking about dads on visits? And so we really look at him as a leader, and he does a great job promoting to the other workers the importance of including dads.
Yeah, Reggie, we look up to him a whole lot everywhere, and every chance I get to consult with him, he is full of incredibly, service and information. He's a true gem to our program.
Definitely.
Let's see here from Christy. Yeah, we have an entire father services team. Our newest employee on that team was a participant and loved it so much, he now works for the program. Wow, that's incredible. So something just to sort of think about, because we're not always, as we know, we're not always going to be able to have male FSWs to match up to active father participants. So what are some ways that maybe you could help gear your staff towards engaging with fathers or finding leaders? Like, who do you think those people could be? And let me circle back to Christy, if you don't mind elaborating a little bit on your father services team. What does that look like? What sort of things do they focus on? How do they specialize in engaging fathers?
Patrick, I'm going to defer to Jeannie to answer that question because she is the supervisor specifically over that program.
Sure, that works for me as long as Jeannie doesn't mind. I don't want to put her on the spot too
Sure.
much.
Yeah, well, we have the moms worker and the supervisor when they go out on the visits to offer and talk about that we have our father service program. And of course, the moms worker always include dads, but sometimes we see that maybe the dad could benefit from some individual support. And so when that's the case, then we get a referral and then they go out and they meet with the dads. They use the GGK, but they also have other things like the 24/7 dads. They have maps for dads. So they have some material specifically for dads to do. And they also do the developmental screenings because, we do find it's important for them to understand child development. And we do the depression screening with them. So we do all the things that we would do with the moms, we do with the dads. And it's just been really great. And sometimes what happens is the mom leaves the program and then dad stays in the program. And we even have one dad now that, they were married and together and CPI got involved and he ended up getting custody. And thank goodness, Reggie helped support him through that whole thing because that was a big transition for him, to take over to becoming the full-time dad and, and become the primary. So it's just another benefit for the children.
Agreed. And healthy families, part of our message is so much helping parents to have agency to, be the best parents that we know they want to be. So I love that you all are giving dads the same access to tools that you do to all the mothers too. And then from Bracken's TA, leaders in the community, like youth coaches, barbers, community leaders, and dads who are participants. Those are some great places to look for father leaders for your program. So those are going to be different in every community. So make sure that's a great idea to take a look at how you all can utilize other leaders in your community to help the fathers in your program. D, just had a staff member come to me and ask about starting a father group with some of her dads, as she has several dads now involved on her caseload. We have had dads actually graduate as primary participants from our site, which is great. So another program that I have become a champion of at Healthy Families, I love the Circle of Parents program. And we have a great working relationship with Prevent Child Abuse Florida, who does all of the trainings for the facilitator trainings for those parent support groups. And I would love to help you set up dad or father circle of parent groups. And if you reach out to me, I can get your staff and site trained by Prevent Child Abuse Florida to get that group set up. So that's a great resource we have. So D, I know you know my number, so just reach out. Man, I'd love to make that happen. That'd be great. All right, those are some great leaders and ways to find leaders in your program. Yeah, Dana, definitely reach out because you already have a circle program running, I believe. So I would love to help you get a follow from going. All right, so we'll move on to the next question. Where are some opportunities to make fathers more visible in your program to other dads or connect dads to other dads? In the video, mentioning things like having posters up that have dads on them. We've already mentioned connecting dads with other dads in circle parent groups. What are some other ways that you can make dads more visible? Jeannie, I see your hand up.
Yes. So one of the things that we did was Reggie created a gold medal dads t-shirt. That's what we have another program, Gold Medal Dads, that works with, can also work with kids, families or dads that have older kids. And so we've been giving that to the other dads, and we've been going to events and we've been wearing the shirts, and that just seems to really just been promoting our programs, and people stop and ask and they look at us. And so that's been one way that we've been trying to promote the importance of dads and in the program.
Yeah, that is excellent. Dana says that they can survey them for their feedback and then share and make changes based on that info. That's a great, if you're trying to get information on how dads want to be served, no better way than to ask dads, right? D says we try to be sure that dads are represented on any printed material. That's a great way. Liliana says to make brochures available at clinics or doctor's offices where dads might be. Excellent. And some of this is a little already covered, so that's okay. All right, we'll go ahead and let's see. Dana says, I will ask for dads to be better represented on our agency website. That's a really great idea and great request to make. I follow several of your all's social media pages, which I love. They're always so great. But yeah, making sure that dads are represented on, I guess, what do we want to call on all of your virtual stuff, website, social media. So how do you find anything these days? You Google it, right? So. Maggie says ATP dad and ask them about baby's milestones. That is a really great idea to involve dads in home visits. In anything is just to ask them. That's great. You don't have to reinvent the wheel serving dads. Using a lot of the same strategies that we are already masters of is a great way to do it. Christy says we recently had media coverage from 3 different news stations promoting and normalizing our father services program. If you can do that, that is great. But yeah, utilizing community resources to let dads know that Healthy Families is for them. That's great. All right, now on to our final question. But like I said, if you all have any other thoughts, comments after, let me know. What materials and do you already have that you think could be effective demonstrating Healthy Families Florida's worth to fathers? We've already talked about some of this stuff, but what are some ways that you can demonstrate our value to them? Dana says using the Edinburgh, absolutely. Letting dads know that they can suffer from postpartum depression also, and then letting them know that we have a way to support them in their mental health is a great way to let them know our programs for them. Sally from Highland says using public events to engage dads. Dana, you having the NFI curriculum available for them along with the specific brochures for them. The Fathering in 15 is a great curriculum for dads, as well as the 24/7 dads that some of you all have. Oh, Ileana, that is a great idea. Some fathers get involved during car seat installation. So utilizing their strengths, you know, and if a dad is involved and likes working on the car, or magically every time a home visitor shows up, the oil needs to be changed, maybe, and they disappear, maybe you can help get them involved in something like car seat installation. Man, that's a great one. Jeannie, I see you got your hand raised.
Yeah, just what the last person was saying made me think, the home safety checklist, I find that my staff has done it differently than when I supervised the moms workers, because they just get in there like, hey, we need this fixed. Let's just go fix it right now. So that's something that we can, you know, you can do on the visit. As you said, use them as a strengths, especially with home safety issues. If something, the window needs to be fixed, or we need to put this in place to keep the child safe. I mean, the guys are really great with, let's just do it now.
I agree. A real strength that some dads bring to the table is that they like to be fixers. They like to fix things. And so if you have a dad who wants to help and wants to fix, what a great way to engage them. The home safety checklist. Man, that's great. All right, and Bracken's providing testimonials and success stories during opportunities where public speaking is done. I agree. I know it always makes me all teary-eyed and happy when I read about the success stories of our families. So having a few dads who you know have appreciated your program and who wouldn't mind making testimonials for you to share in your community would be a great way to let them know. Jacob Strube, sorry if I said it wrong. We have things like pamphlets talking about the importance of dads, as well as pins with inscriptions, dads are special, that we give out. I love it. So it's so personalized. Yeah, Ileana, boys toilet training. Yeah, that is a very specific training method. And D, we had a dad teach other parents how to sew a tummy time mat as he had sewing skills from middle school. Yeah, heck yeah, utilizing specific strengths in dads in your program. I love it. I mean, Ileana, budget planning and family goal plans. Absolutely. Those are two excellent ways to engage dads and use their strengths. Yeah, family goal planning. Absolutely. Help dads develop some self-agency. They're not just here, they're not just doing whatever anyone wants, they're not just floating along. It's their baby too. They have a role to play. They can help plan and make things happen. All right. So we're coming up. Oh, let's see. Yeah, nutrition and healthy eating habits. Like I said, a big strength about engaging dads is they love to be physical. They love to play with their children. So helping engage them in nutrition and healthy eating habits is great, not only for them, but for their children. Indeed says helping moms understand that dads need to be involved. Absolutely. Demonstrating dad's importance to moms is incredibly valuable. To expound on that, if anyone has any great ideas about how to demonstrate dad's value to their children, to moms, feel free to type them in or speak up. Excellent. Dana says, I really push the NFI material that is specifically for moms. NFI does have a lot of really great stuff that it basically lays out a list of reasons why dads are important to their children. Oh man, I love that. Eliana, you're full of great ideas today. Remembering their own experiences with their fathers. I know in GGF, we have a lot of exercises that are designed around self-reflection. So maybe some of those activities would be a great way to encourage moms to reflect on those experiences. I love that. Yeah, finding the gold within. I was thinking that you're reading my mind over there. And for what it's worth, those sort of activities are also good with dads to help them reflect on things they enjoyed about their dad, things that they would change, those sort of things to help them realize their own importance to their children. Yeah, that's the name of the activity, what I want for my child. All right, great. So I was hoping to keep this right around 45 minutes. So let's see. Well, I'll keep blue forms IFSP. I'm not aware of what those are, Ileana. Dee says some of my team have had mom and dad do that activity separately and then share it in a visit. That's great. Yeah. Almost like a newlywed game or something. I'll have to zoom in on that later. Or you could, if you want, feel free to email them to me. I'd love to take a look at them. Okay, so thank you all so much. I would love to hear feedback from this session. So please feel free to reach out and let me know what you enjoyed about it and things that you would like to see modified or changed. I want to make sure that the next 6 sessions are as valuable as possible for you all. I also wanted to fill you in on some of the, and I'll go ahead and put the schedule back up here. I also, as it's sort of related, I also wanted to fill you in on some of the ongoing efforts at the central office that we are currently working on to help overcome some of the barriers mentioned in this video. We are working on a series of father-friendly rack cards that will focus on fathers and the roles they play in their children's lives and development. So displaying these cards at your office and having them available for staff to take on home visits to fathers, it'll help them feel more like our program is meant for them. It most certainly is, as well as being informative. We'll also be working on a training for our father-specific curriculum, Fathering in 15, to help staff utilize it confidently. All right, so if you take a look at this flyer here, let me see here. The next Overcoming Barriers to Father Engagement video series will be on Thursday, July 21st at 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central, and we'll be focusing on the barrier maternal gatekeeping. I will look forward to hearing your feedback from today's session and seeing you next time. If any of you are interested in receiving a copy of the discussion slide and video link, please feel free to reach out to me. I highly encourage you all to take these questions back to your staff and see what they have to say. Because I was so impressed and happy with everything I heard today. But yes, all the trainings are going to be at 1 p.m. Sure, I will send it to you all. And at some point, I'll try to make this discussion that we're having available also. But yeah, thank you all again so much for coming and your efforts to engage fathers in Healthy Families Florida services. If there is not any other questions or comments, I'll let you all get back to your day. Yeah, thank you all. Thank you. Yeah, a lot of great conversations today. Now I can never figure out how to end these things. So feel free to leave while I figure it out. Thank you all so much. Have a great day.